was so mad that I killed. He just hunted me down. What's my clip? What's my highlight? This? Yes, because I protected everybody. Oh man! Some poverty, some other stuff. And violence was so hard. And in a way they ended up becoming victims, despite the fact that they vote to act against other people and victimize other people and do really fucked up, terrible things. They just got really swept up by the movements of power that these people have exerted over them. Right?
We're comfortable spinning around and reading about whoever. Instead, we talk about the is it good or bad to reject your radical rules? Is it good or bad to spread the media based on my principles, which you value for your media? So Trump has repeatedly called for like investigations into reporters and media outlets. He believes that the business licenses like ABC and CBS, MSNBC, he says should be pulled. I mean, we don't see these sorts of threats from Democrats. Okay, so let's get into it.
That was the highlight? It was the highlight for you?
Cooking so low.
That was funny as shit, dude. Oh, that's a nice highlight that I got. Fucking them up. That was really fun. This guy's embarrassing me. I got him without how did how did I not pick that up? A pressing X. Oh, 8-year-old custom skin chest box that they have on the shop, the one where you can get the flaming motorcycle. It also drops these decals. If you go to stick them on your vehicle, all you gotta do is make them really big and place them on the right spots, and you could cover the most of the motorcycle and have your own kind of like rainbow psychedelic effect skin. Is it destroyed? Alright, brothers. Hold on, let me lower the music a little bit. What is going on, brothers and sisters? I can't explain the green on the screen, alright? The green screen. Could definitely explain this. I am dealing with not a crises, but quite a bit of annoyance on YouTube. I'm just stating this before we get into this because I know it's gonna probably bother some, but I have a reason. So bots, a bunch of AI bots, or you know, a Trump Musk brigade that's going on YouTube that keeps trying to target my YouTube side of the stream, with a lot of annoyance and reporting of me like watching content and me having to deal with a bunch of headaches. So I figured the fastest way for me to get around this would just be to start doing this. It's what a lot of other people seem to be doing. So anyway, we have a lot to cover, and I'm going to try to cover all this in an hour. Trump out here is now calling himself our God King, essentially. And this is not like me exaggerating words. This isn't me just taking some new policy and attaching some rhetoric to it. Take a look at this. This is a picture. This is a picture posted to the official White House Instagram page, quoting a quote that Trump had recently said regarding congestion pricing, because he passed some law or some shit that lowered congestion traffic pricings or some dumb shit, something that's only going to affect a small portion of the population. And he decided to say, all of New York is saved, long live the king. Yeah, this is you know, I only laugh, I only smirk a little bit, I only giggled a little bit because it makes me highly uncomfortable. The fact that the President of the United States is not just saying this, but having his administration post things like this to their social media pages, websites, and what have you, right? And I'm gonna get into what he has done recently that actually gave him a lot more power, king-like power, I must say, over the law, and other things too. But first, since I have this lined up, Trump and our United States, I guess in general's position now, is anti-Ukraine. Fuck Ukraine, right? And we knew this was gonna happen. His rhetoric constantly seemed to favor Putin over Zelensky, and it wasn't really so much as him completely straight up outright telling us that he 100% believes everything Putin says and what have you, but now it's starting to be that, right? Trump has bought into the Russian propaganda machine. He's falling victim to the same memes, rhetoric, bullshit that has been spread amongst Russia itself, and now has been spread directly from Putin to Trump. And this is right after his recent meeting with Putin. Again, Trump and the White House, I guess, has announced that Europe will not be participating in any talks when it comes to peace, when it comes to the Ukrainian-Russian war, and that they will be going to Putin first over Zelensky in order to start discussions that can quote-unquote lead to peace, right? And this peace that Trump and Putin want is a very grim future for Ukraine, which is really fucking sad. If Zelensky is a successful dictator, then Trump is a constitutional failure. If he was he's not even a dictator, that's the crazy part about it. But if we were to say that Trump's reality and the way he's phrasing things was right, yes, Trump would be a failure, I guess, in retrospect, but again, Zelensky's not a dictator. And according to Trump, yes, according to Trump. What's nuts is that according to Trump, and it seems to be a case with a lot of his claims, if Trump's world and universe existed, and we were in that timeline, Trump would probably come off as even worse than he actually is. I don't know, because so many things happen to exist at the same time that would be impossible for them to exist at the same time in Trump's universe, right? It's like, in his universe, he simultaneously believes gravity is a thing, while also believing gravity is a conspiracy theory, and that we are actually just, I don't know what, magnetized to the earth. I don't know what the fuck this guy thinks anymore. But most of the time, claims from Trump will be one way, and then less than a week, 2 weeks, a month later, maybe a year later, it's just a matter of time before Trump says something that directly opposes the initial claim, and would probably make him look bad. Just like when, what is it, the whole accusations against DEI for being responsible for the planes falling out the sky recently, and then Turns out he passed that law, you know. So, I don't know, maybe he fucked himself up, who knows. I bet Musk is the devil on his shoulder whispering in his ear sweet, sweet lies. There's a lot of people on his shoulder, as a matter of fact. There's a whole lineup. There's a whole line of people going from one shoulder to the other that are whispering things in his fucking ear. And all these people happen to have more money than him, more power than him, happen to be, on some level, more intelligent than him. And yes, Trump believes he is the one and only. Welcome, Johnny. Also, welcome, JP. I hope you're doing well. Seriously, though, it seems to be the case that a lot of powerful, intelligent leaders around the world, whether or not they're good or bad, have recognized that it's pretty easy for them to manipulate Trump, as long as they, as you say, whisper some sweet, sweet lies. They have to be sweet. They have to be sweet. Right? They gotta coddle Trump's balls, right? They gotta make him feel good about himself. And we're going to, I don't know if I have this pulled up actually, but in the recent interview that Sean Hannity had with Musk and Trump, where Musk was sitting right next to him, right? We got, at some random fucking point in time when Musk was talking about Neuralink and shit like that, Trump, he sees disassociated and fucking bored, but he feels the need to garner a little bit more like confirmation and support from Musk because, you know, he likes him, he looks up to him and he wants approval so bad. He asked him out of nowhere, he asked him, do you like Bobby? You like Bobby? Like, he just interrupts Musk and says, do you like Bobby? And referring to, like, RFK Jr. He's like, you like Bobby? And Musk's like, yeah, I like Bobby. You did a great job picking him. Like, what kind of baby bullshit nonsense is this shit, dude? Welcome, Once Human's coming mobile. Oh, yes. Actually, speaking of Once Human, I just re-downloaded it today. I have a friend who was playing it this morning, and I don't know. I've thought about kind of maybe giving it a shot one more time, only because I want to shoot something in the head and not think too hard about it. So maybe. I watched that speech Trump did yesterday, and it kind of looked like he took a few jabs at Musk. Oh yeah. Well, I'm not surprised. At some point, the tension is there. The tension's there. There's no way that Trump is going to be able to hold back forever, right? And I'm pretty sure he's getting sick and tired at some point of sitting on the cuck chair. But again, he shot himself in the foot. He's stuck in his position. So he'll throw out a few jabs here and there every once in a while. Maybe even to go as far as to keep making it seem like, you know, he's not suckling on him and we're so reliant on him that he's basically in charge. They want to just make sure that he has that appearance of being domination or dominant amongst Musk or whatever. But still, he can't fool nobody. He's not fooling nobody. So say something positive he has done. Who, Trump? I don't know. I can't. It's impossible. I wish, you know what? Actually, I will say, I think he passed an executive order relating to IVF and in vitro fertilization. I haven't looked enough into that but I think I might have some positive, but I don't trust it because, as with most things that Trump does, there seems to be catches with a lot of shit. Musk sharing that Dark Knight footage and claiming it's a hospital in Birmingham being overrun with migrants was hilarious. I mean, it was a fucking meme going around where it was just Trump and with like wearing some Joker, face paint, talking about how DEI is gonna claim another plane, and that the more DEI continues, the more people are gonna DEI. And I was like, that's so fucking stupid. Something positive he has done is losing the election once. Yeah, that's a net positive. Yes. So, Trump calls Zelensky dictator. Zelensky trades some bars back with Russia, right? And on top of this, Zelensky accuses Trump of living in a Russian disinformation space, which is true. So this is not looking good for Ukraine. It really isn't. It looks pretty fucking bad. We got Rubio out here who's restoring embassy staffing in Russia as well, you know, so they could continue talking about Ukrainian peace. And Trump's out here talking about how, oh, we're going to negotiate a deal where Ukraine keeps most of their land. That's a key word. Most of their land. I wonder, you know, I really wonder if we're gonna see Trump talking in the future about how Nazis have taken over Ukraine, and what was it, Putin's just trying to help Ukraine get rid of them, and then he's just gonna keep buying more and more into some fucking bullshit. You know, it was a dictatorship. The whole dictator claim comes again from the fact that Zelensky was elected during wartime, right? And it was according to their government's law. It's what they do. They went through the exact same process that the law had dictated they should be going through. So it's not like he just assumed fucking power and took control over everything and wasn't voted. Like, these people definitely have a high approval rating for him. I mean, you know, Trump is lying about it and saying he had like 4%. But that's not the case. He has a very high approval rating in this country. He's doing very well. I'm so glad Starmer called Zelensky yesterday backing him, because, oh yes, he did say this. Yes. I would have felt like shit too, man. Hearing this, Zelensky's in such a... Bro, Zelensky, he's a fucking hero for his country, I'm not gonna lie. He's been busting his balls since the beginning to keep these people afloat. Like, he's been doing everything he possibly can with as much pride as he possibly can with this country, you know? And it sucks to see that after all these... what is it, 3 years of pushing back and kicking Russia in the nuts, that they're still gonna have to, like, bend the knee to Russia in the end, which is fucking, it's sad. All because of some dumb orange buffoon. Gonna be awkward next week when he visits the US. I don't know how you play both sides of the situation. It's gonna be hard for him to. At some point you can't. He's being closer. I think he's realizing the time is coming where he's going to have to make the call, where he can't just sit here and keep playing both sides and making concessions to the United States. Otherwise, Ukraine's gonna fucking lose, right? Hopefully, the European Union, hopefully they get together, they answer his call to create like a European forces or some shit, and they try to pick up the ball and hold out for the next however long it takes, you know, for the next 4 years and until we can get a Trump out the office, if we can. I don't know. It doesn't look good for them at all. And here I got this video so we could hear Trump speak about bullshit after bullshit. I don't even know if you can actually see this. Oh no, that was just a super white screen from before. You guys couldn't see anything on that screen. This is all white. But it seems like you guys can see this. Yeah, I'm gonna play it.
Coming from me and coming from many other countries also. You know, Ukraine is being just wiped out. Look at what's happening to the cities. There are cities, there's not even a building standing. It's a massive, you talk about Gaza.
He acts like Ukraine, especially Kiev and like the central parts of where most people live, is like obliterated to dust and they're living in tunnels, right? Which is definitely not the case. It doesn't take long to see any type of interview video or footage of the streets out there, and I'm pretty fucking positive Trump has visited Ukraine at some point. I might be wrong, but it's clear as day that this is over exaggerating how much Ukraine has lost. As a matter of fact, again, this was supposed to be a war that would have been over in a couple days that has now extended to 3 years, and Ukraine has done pretty fucking well considering the positioning that they've been in.
I mean, it's literally, these cities look like Gaza. Actually, many have, percentage-wise, more buildings knocked down than in Gaza. So, you know, people are tired of it. People want to see something happen. And, you know, the other thing that it's been bothering me for a long
do you really think Russia needs more landmass? It's not about more landmass. They have a fuck ton of landmass. I mean, to be honest, a lot of the landmass they have is unlivable, I guess, because of Siberian waste and shit like that, but I don't think it has anything to do with that, because it's, you know, it's more about trying to take control of the world stage, right? Trying to reestablish what previously was for Russia, where Putin thinks Russia was at its peak during the USSR, right? He wants to see that image again, and he doesn't believe that he can obtain that with what he has now. He needs to recapture some of the more important pieces of that puzzle, which Ukraine happen to be. And again, there's multiple reasons. There's many different layers as to why Ukraine's important to Russia, right? You could go from historically speaking to maybe resource speaking to geopolitically speaking. There's a bunch of different fucking levels to it, right? But we can never forget that Ukraine, Kiev is the heart, has always been the heart of what Russia is. Like dating back to way before, I think even the Viking Age, before medieval age and shit like that. Russia was built from Kiev in Ukraine and spread on outward from there, So it's really hard for Russia to let go of that, right? Which, again, extends beyond just that speaking, because you also have the NATO issue, and NATO being his neighbors, as well as trying to just, improve economy, improve forces, improve power. It's all about that. He wants to push the envelope and expand, because that's how it always been. I mean, the Russian dream, I feel like, especially the USSR dream, was building an empire that expanded nearly the entire globe, right? If they can expand across the entire globe, at least have complete control over the entire globe, which he has definitely been really good at trying to pull off. Considering that he has now infected the mind of not just the American president, but a half of the American people, right? Because a lot of MAGA supports Trump and his positioning with Putin, right? But he's also been doing the same thing in a lot of other nations and in Europe as well. There's a lot of people who have bought into this idea. This type of toxic or poisonous thinking has spread throughout the entire world, right? And the propaganda is strong with this one, man.
Long time, because I solved the problem with NATO. They paid hundreds of billions of dollars into the funds of NATO when I said you got to pay.
This is
because the United States was paying for European countries, and then they
Trump's
take
gonna
advantage.
proceed to just throw a bunch of numbers out, right? As well as like reference different types of budgets and shit that the United States government has 100% like has access to data for and information about, but he speaks about it as if he doesn't know, and that we don't know, and that nobody knows, but we fucking know. And the numbers that he spits out are bullshit. Who is a true Lisan Al-Gaib? Is it BB? Who is BB? What is it? Lisan Al-Gaib. The Lisan Al-Gaib is the one who sees, the one who could bring us on the one true path. He's the one that knows all memories expanding from the past to the future, right? He's the one who knocks. No, he's not the one who knocks. It's fucking what is it? That's the crack dealer. No, I'm just no, it's definitely not Netanyahu. Definitely not Netanyahu. The Lisan Al-Gaib is the savior. He's the guy who will bring us and all of humanity to a position where we'll never fall. Right? I thought the Lisan Al-Gaib was some antichrist. No, it's quite literally the opposite. Actually, it's the Christ. Right? It's supposed to be the Christ. That's what the Dune inspiration's supposed to be from, right? Just kind of nuts. He's supposed to be the God Emperor.
Advantage of us on trade, but I've seen it. Look, they have to pay. They have to find out where's the money going to. We have.
If you're asking who the Antichrist is, though, it's a good question. I don't know. I ask myself that a lot, and I wonder if it's this guy. I can't help but feel that it's this guy, but this guy's too fucking stupid, right? He's like, his body is host. It's possessed by the Antichrist, or by control from the Antichrist. And whoever is the actual Antichrist is, who knows?
I believe President Zelensky said last week that he doesn't know where half of the money is that we gave him. Well, we gave them, I believe, $350 billion. But let's say it's something less.
Look it up, bitch. This is what I'm saying. Like,
that,
Trump, dude, you're the president of the United States. What do you mean you don't know how much we gave him? U.S. went from we saved your ass to we ditched your ass. Yeah. And what's sad is that, because you bring up a good point, EC. What's sad is that with the whole world having to rely on an incredibly powerful ally who flip-flops every 4 years like this shit, you know, we're being pushed more and more into the direction of the whole world wants to stop relying on us and will stop supporting us if this keeps happening and we can't figure our shit out. He's a glorified Wall Street cookie. I mean, yeah, that's literally where he grew up. I mean, that's what he is. That's that's his origin. Wall Street is his primordial soup, I would always say.
It's a lot. And we have to equalize with Europe because Europe has given us given a very much smaller percentage of that. I think Europe has given 100 billion, and we've given, let's say, 300 plus. And it's more important for them than it is for us. We have an ocean in between, and they don't. But where is all the money that's been given? Where is it going? And nobody, I've never seen an accounting of it. We give hundreds of billions.
Like, he's just pulling this is Russian propaganda, right? He's referencing money that the United States supposedly gave, and he doesn't even know what the exact numbers are, despite the fact that we supposedly gave him. And then he's going to accuse things, right? So he's referencing the Lex Friedman podcast that Zelensky had recently, where he mentions like some chips and like, what was it, losing, not losing money like he lost it, doesn't know where the fuck it is, but having to waste money on certain things that didn't work out for him, right? That's what he's referencing, and of course Russia turned that into some bullshit. I liked part of Boris Johnson's tweet yesterday in response of, oh, cheers to you, by the way. I'm using a nectar collector. This is for dabs and shit, so I just have to heat up the glass and I vape. But I like part of Boris Johnson's tweet yesterday in response of Trump. Of course, Ukraine didn't start the war, yeah, which is the new claim that he's having. You might as well say that America attacked Japan at Pearl Harbor. Of course, a country undergoing a violent invasion should not be staging elections. There was no general election in the UK from 1935 to 1945. Of course, Zelensky's ratings are not 4%. They are actually about the same as Trump. It's kind of crazy because, you know, considering who Boris Johnson is, it's, I guess, refreshing to see him saying and calling out Trump for this bullshit, but he's not wrong. It's not wrong. You know, it is batshit crazy to me that people literally just accept the fact that this guy is accusing a country for being the aggressor when that country was being invaded by someone, right? That's insane. It's like saying, how do you be forced to invade somebody? Like, I just don't get that. That's like saying he was forced to rape a woman. Like, that doesn't make a sense. That doesn't make any sense. And that he was forced to rape the woman by the woman? It doesn't make any sense. Like, it just, you wouldn't say that shit. But, of course, Trump would. And the rest of his fan base completely is okay with that. You know? I don't understand this. Every single criticism that he now has against Zelensky is all born from Russian propaganda, stuff that even Putin himself has laid out, you know? So, it's just disgusting. It really is just disgusting. If anyone thought about this stuff deeper than just listening to him and accepting it as fact, it doesn't make sense, but this is not the type of people that we're dealing with. Ukraine was wearing a tiny skirt. Yeah. Right? You just got one tiny mite 2 or something? Nice. Yeah, no, this is not electric at all. I gotta heat it up with a fucking torch. I don't know, this one's kind of broken too. I'm using a nail that's meant for a different nectar collector, and I just put that shit on there. Nah, it's just a glass thing where I go like this with it, and I heat it up. You can even see there's some like electric tape on here because the thing is broken, and I had to put a little bit more cushion on there. Yeah, it kind of does. It's basically a glass straw that you heat up and shit. The Ukraine was wearing a tiny skirt, right? You just blame the victim for what had happened. It's disgusting. It really is disgusting. And what is the GOP doing? They're doing jack shit. I mean, they're fact checking him, right? They're trying to like put out forest fires for him, but they're not fighting back, right? They're not stopping him from lighting those fires in the first place. Because, again, they're scared. They've been beaten into submission. If they disagree with the leader, they're kicked and their careers will be deleted. And we'll never hear from them again, right? Never try to wax, can only get flour here. Wax, yeah, I've had to switch over to wax. I used to smoke flour for like 10 whole years, but I had to switch over to wax because of, I burned through flour too fast. That's basically it. I could save on money and on product, I guess, if I go through concentrates, right? So, what did the GOP do? They barely did anything. A couple of these senators had fact-checked them, right? Like right here, Senator Susan Collins of Maine said that we must remember that the instigator of this war was Russia, right? It was President Putin who launched an unprovoked attack on Ukraine. Some of them were, I guess, willing enough to say, hey, we don't support fully this idea of the was a Russia being the aggressor, but we will support the president and whatever the fuck that he wants to do. Which they might as well agree with him at this point, right? Because you're not fucking doing jack shit to stop anything, which is disgusting. It's disgusting. Hold on, let me turn off the green, because I don't think we need the green right now. And I didn't realize how fucking green it is against the white background. Jeez. I use like a gram a week. My tolerance is super duper low. I wish I was like that, man. I really do. I am long beyond that. I can't, like, my tolerance is way too fucking high now. So, it sucks. It sucks. Oh shit, here we go. Why so weak? Yeah, man, you gotta bump those numbers up, man. You gotta be smoking 12 pounds a day. No, I'm just kidding. Can't imagine Zelensky's rage right now. Well, I don't think it's so much rage. I feel like he's feeling a lot of, depression, right? A lot of worry for his country. That's what I can imagine he's feeling right now. You know, like, what do you do at this point? He's exhausting most of his options, you know. It's kind of more of a desperation. I think at this point he's feeling a lot of desperation, for sure. And again, now we get to the point where Trump considers himself king, calls himself king. Woo, King Trump! Trump has finally done it. He's finally come forward and says what we've all been thinking. He's been thinking, right? Which is him seeing a big old fat fucking crown on his ugly ass head, right? And here he is, the official White House page on Instagram, posting this disgusting piece of shit art showing Trump wearing a king crown, right? And the background is New York City. Long live the king. In reference to a quote that Trump says about congestion pricing, because he passed a law which is improving congestion pricing in Manhattan or New York and just places with heavy traffic, right? And he took it upon himself to say New York is saved, long live the king of America, right? It's nuts that he says this and he triples down on this, right? He fucking posts it to all his social medias. He fucking creates, he has someone get commissioned to create artwork for this, which I'm pretty sure they just ran this through AI. Like, let's be real, I don't think they put a lot of effort into this. But again, he does this and follows it up with a power grab. This is the most horrible, most disgusting power grab I've seen since last week, which was it was one of the executive orders that he gave upon himself that just was a lot of overreach, right? Especially when it came to the Elon Musk coup, right? And it's this new executive order where he says, where he gets to say, or I guess the law now dictates, that only the president could speak for what the law means and what the law is, right? So he's now given himself extreme oversight over interpretation of the law, and I'm pretty sure this executive order is going to be challenged by a judge. It's definitely going to be frozen in its place. But, you know, as he continues to erode our guardrails and checks and balances, he seems to be gaining momentum and being able to knock down these said judges, knock down these said freezes, and get what he wants, right? It's really disgusting. And this This is exactly what a king would do, right? So it falls in suit for him to announce that he's king of the United States and then say that he now has the ability to dictate what the law means, right? He's the interpreter of this said law. And of course, this has a lot of horrible implications for the United States, right? This has way too many horrible implications. It's not looking good. It's not looking good for all those assholes out there. And I'm gonna call out Jon Stewart on this specifically once again, who were too afraid to say that the actions of Trump and the decorations of goals from his administration were not fascist. They were too pussy to come out and say fascism because they were just scared of being alarmist or extremist. Please look at this and explain to me how this is not fascism. Explain to me how you're totally okay with saying that he is a monarchy or a king, but not say anything about fascism. I just don't understand that shit, right? Oh, I missed this. You've been using weed for 15 years now, hell yeah. Same, actually. Crazy, I usually take a day or two off smoking. I haven't been able to take a fucking tea break in a long time, man. I just can't. It's a daily thing for me. Unless I have a week work off. Oh, nice. Yep, that's always a nice vibe. Being able to smoke a lot and be off from work. That's going to be the casual, usual retreat from pain that we'll be dealing with throughout our whole lives. For the next 4 years at least. So, along with this press conference where Trump announces his new powers, right? He's asked some questions. There's a few interviews here and there. But actually, first of all, let me show you this. Just so you guys can see I'm not making shit up.
Order that
This
President
is him
Trump
announcing
signed.
the executive order.
Public. Lastly, we have another executive order that President Trump signed relating to independent agencies. This executive order would establish important oversight functions in the Office of Management and Budget and its subsidiary office, OIRA, supervising independent agencies and many of their actions, and also reestablishes the longstanding norm that only the President or the Attorney General can speak for the United States when stating an opinion as to what the law is.
There it is. There it is. Him and the Attorney General are going to be the ones who will dictate what the law is. They're going to be the ones who will say this for us. Yippity-doo-dah-day. Right? How fucking wonderful. That's not going to end up bad for us at all, huh? So, in this said conference, someone asked Trump an important question regarding Musk, right? Musk has been focusing Doge and its, I guess, crosshairs on specific agencies, right, that regulate Musk and his companies, more specifically SpaceX, right? Talking about safety regulations, you know, making sure they pay their taxes, making sure they're not doing anything illegal. A couple of these agencies have been had ongoing investigations into Musk. Of course, naturally, Musk is weaponizing Doge to target these said industries, agencies, and shut them down. Jesus Christ, man. What is wrong with me? I think I smoke too much talking about smoking weed. But, yes, he's using this new power that he has amongst himself and his own benefit. What do you call this? A conflict of interest, right? He has told us, and he's told Trump, that he wouldn't do this, which is in itself a conflict of interest. And when asked who's going to be regulating him, he basically said that he's going to be regulating himself, which again is another conflict of interest, right? It's no surprise to me that Musk has fought for these powers in this position that he now holds, a special position that no one has ever held before, right? That puts him on the same level as the president in some ways, right? And using this for his own benefit, financially, monetarily speaking,
Sorry. Mr.
And it
President, given
seems,
your
though,
concerns
before I
about...
play this, out this question, it seems like when Trump was asked about it, he didn't even fucking know.
corruption, you said that if there were any conflicts of interest with Elon Musk, you wouldn't let him anywhere near it.
That's right.
Doge and SpaceX employees are now working directly at the Federal Aviation Administration and the Defense Department, agencies that have billions of dollars in contracts with Musk's companies or that directly regulate his companies. How is that not a conflict of interest?
Well, I mean, I'm just hearing about it, and if there is, and he told me before I told him, but obviously I will not let there be any conflict of interest. He's done an amazing job. They've revealed, in fact, he's going to be on tonight, a big show.
He didn't even fucking know. He didn't even fucking know. Like, how do you know? He must have known. Of course he didn't know. But he's deflecting and saying he didn't fucking know until now, acting as if that makes himself look any better. He was put on the spot. He didn't know how to respond. He fumbled the ball
Sean
there.
Hannity
He said some bullshit.
They
He brought up
revealed, in
his,
fact, he's going to be on
interview with Sean
tonight, a big
Hannity.
show called Sean Hannity at 9 o'clock, and he's on, and
He
I'm
went
on,
straight
and
to the
we
dick
talk about a lot
sucking.
of different...
He went straight to the dick sucking. He was like, oh, well, you know, he told me he's not gonna do anything. Yeah, he's a great guy, man. He's gonna be fucking awesome, and he's gonna actually be on an interview soon. And you guys should watch that shit because he's fucking dope. It is gross. It is gross. I could watch hours of Trump taking tough questions to try to score. Well, lucky for you, we got hours and hours of content for that shit, dude. It's all out there. You could spend 8 fucking years watching that shit.
Things, and
I wish there was more, though. Honestly, I wish there was more, and it does suck because the more and more interviews I see that are coming out with him, especially ones taken from the left, the less and less those tough questions happen. We're getting a lot of softball happen. There's a lot of soft nonsense happening because the Dems are always too fucking pussy to take a position that is serious, right? They don't want to seem alarmist. They don't want to seem extremist, right? And they also are afraid for some reason of burning a bridge because they still are in the weird, naive position of thinking that these people are reachable somehow, and that if we just sane wash them and stoop down to their level and we just treat them as normal fucking people who are exactly the same as the left, that we could somehow get our message across and win, right? I don't know if it's still this idea or they're holding tight onto their like moral high horse or whatever the fuck it is, but it's definitely killing the Democrats and it's putting them in a position where they don't do anything at all. They just stand by
any conflicts,
and
I told
watch,
Elon, any
right?
conflicts.
It is disgusting. It's disgusting. They should be doing a lot more, especially when they're put into positions, right, where you know, Congress is stuck, being forced to not be able to enter the Department of Education because of Musk's goons, right? They should be fighting back. They should be getting fucking arrested, trying to get inside. They shouldn't just be allowing this to happen without making it more public, without making it more of a spectacle, without making it more of a protest, right? Instead of just allowing Musk and Trump and his goons to walk all over the United States and destroy this fucking democracy, just rip up the Constitution to shreds, right? Now we get to see the handiwork of RFK Jr. Speaking of Lisan al-Gaib, actually, if you're still here, you know who actually is Lisan al-Gaib? Unironically speaking, it's the fucking RFK Jr., right? This guy has the Shai Halud in his fucking head, and he's drinking the water of life on airplanes with blue dye and that shit, right? Talking about how he's hearing the voice of God telling him what to do with the United States, right? And what does he think that he should do? He should convince all these gullible fucking poor people that vaccines are bad and that we should not take any vaccines. As a matter of fact, we should stop taking these vaccines that have helped us prevent outbreaks of diseases that plagued humanity for hundreds of thousands of fucking years, right? Outbreaks that we haven't seen in over 100 years since the public started taking these vaccines. Texas has a new outbreak of measles, totally preventable, totally fucking preventable, by the way. And Why is this the case? It's because a lot of local policies in that town and in that region were spreading that were anti-vax. And, you know, of course, with the help of our new Lis Lagaib, RFK Jr., right? It's disgusting. We have kids who are sick and dying now of a disease that is optional for us to have. It's optional. It's fucked that we have the ability to prevent something deadly and dangerous, and it's cheap for us to do so, and we are simply opting out of it because some dipshit who doesn't have a background in education, or a few dipshits, a handful of dipshits, mind you, are telling everybody not to listen. They're just taking everything for fucking granted. I guess that's the problem, right? They take it for granted. They haven't dealt with it. They haven't seen the disease. They believe that, you know, there might be a chance that they just have us taking this and we never need it in the first place, because they never lived through the times where people suffered from this kind of shit. Their parents didn't even have to suffer from this shit because they were receiving the vaccines from it. Right now, thank God, right now, it's not at a level where we have to worry about this spreading throughout the country. However, what we do have to worry about is the rhetoric, the ideology, and I guess the protests against vaccines, right? That's spreading throughout the United States. That's the actual disease, right? It's not the diseases that the vaccines are trying to prevent themselves. It's not the vaccines themselves, but it's the rhetoric and the ideology behind anti-vax that's actually killing people, right? And we need to fight against that at every angle that we can. How do we do that? Just science, I guess. Allowing these people to die, I guess? No, definitely not. I don't want that to happen. Definitely don't want that to happen. Again, if we do that, right, everyone around them is at risk. If you got sick people walking all over the place and they have infectious diseases, of course they're going to be spreading that around, right? Especially when you have things like increases of TB cases, when we lower treatment for that kind of stuff too, right? So, what is the answer? We just have to keep pushing for, I guess, education and vaccines, right? And hopefully, eventually, something breaks through. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon when we have somebody like RFK Jr. in charge of our healthcare. Just all the healthcare systems in the United States. The entire healthcare branch of the United States. I just don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, and we're going to definitely see a lot more outbreaks like this of not just measles, but a lot of other terrible diseases that we haven't seen being a problem for a very long time. And here's some semi-good news, not really, right? It was actually just more disgusting news, I'm not gonna lie. But depending on how much you, or how little you give a fuck about what's going on, this might be good news. Trump is promising, in a similar fashion to the first administration, by the way, he's promising to give all the United States citizens in the US $5,000. Guess what, guys? Our king is about to give us money. Woo! In pure Julius Caesar fashion, right? He's claiming that they saved a fuck ton of money from Doge's actions and cutting these administrations and withdrawing support, right? He's gonna take all that money and send it all to us in the form of fucking direct deposit checks, right? Or just, I guess, actual checks mailed to our houses. In the same fashion that we received the COVID support. I don't know if you guys remember all that shit. So, in the same fashion, he's just gonna do that for us. You did some quick maths. 55 billion. Yeah, $55 billion apparently have been saved. Alright, is that what the math comes out to? I don't know, I didn't even do the math myself. I wasn't even curious. I was just like, what? I was just like, what? How many citizens have we got? What Fix said? Did I miss something? Did I overread something? 346, 603, 902. Bam. Oh, did I miss something? Fox. Why don't I see what Fox said? What the fuck? You mean Fox News? Am I bugging? I think I'm bugging. Oh, Fox News. Gotcha. I thought you meant somebody in the chat named Fox said this shit. So he's saying, Fox News is saying that they saved 55 billion, right? So, let's see. It's 100, 100,000, a million, a billion, a trillion. Okay. So, some quick maths comes out, it's fucking impossible. So $5,000 per United States citizen would come out to almost $2 trillion actually, right? So even if Doge saved $55 billion, which they fucking did not, right? They did not. They just actually caused a lot more damage and devastation when it comes to this country and a lot of our systems. We're going to be paying more. Just briefly, we're going to be paying more in terms of damages and just trying to keep up with systems failing, right? And try and just fix and take out fires than we would have been spending had Trump just not touched anything and Doge didn't just fuck everything up, right? But again, to pay everybody $5,000 directly in our checks, he didn't even save as much money as they needed to. As a I don't know, according to Fox News, if Fox News is saying out here that they saved $55 billion and counting, right? There's not enough money at all to pay out $2 trillion worth of fucking payments directly into the United States citizens. I mean, they were barely able to give us $250 when it came to, COVID, let alone $5,000 to every single citizen. That's some bullshit. It ain't gonna happen. It's just simply not gonna happen. I would like it to happen. Why? Because I need some fucking money. But again, I also don't want it to happen because God knows where they're gonna actually be pulling any of this fucking money from. The math is impossible, as it always is. The math is always off. The math never makes fucking sense, right? You asked them, where the fuck did they get all this money, right? Oh, for example, shit, I was supposed to pull this up. One of the things Musk was saying that he saved money on when it comes to Doge was they found, millions of accounts of people who were supposed to be fucking dead, who said that their ages were like 300 fucking years old or whatever, and that they've been receiving thousands of dollars, and when there's like millions of people like this out there, right? If you look at the numbers, if you look at what he posted himself and the fucking PDF files or whatever, not only was there only like 30,000 accounts that were like this, right? There was the explanation for all this, right? They apparently set, when you enter somebody's information into the system and you don't have their birth date, or their exact birth date, or it's missing some information, the system would automatically set the age to that number just so that would be easy for them to filter out and see who they have to fix when it comes to that kind of information. There's a whole list of explanations for what they were looking at, right? Which is what I expected when I first looked at the numbers and the claims, right? Turns out everything he was saying is fucking bullshit. And even if it was true, even if all 30,000 of those accounts were actually people who were dead and were receiving money and they were just throwing money into the thin air, because I don't know where the fuck they thought that money even went, right? It wasn't even gonna come close to the amount of money that he claimed he was saving. When he's out here saying he saved like 50 million or $5 billion from that shit alone, and in retrospect, if you count all the stuff that was on that graph or data, it only came out to like a few $1,000s. The fuck you talking about? What the fuck you talking about? Something's up here, right? I don't think he's saving any fucking money for us. He's actually causing a lot more devastation and damage, monetarily speaking. We should get 1 million. Fuck yeah. That would make things nice. If we all got $1 million, you know what they should do, actually? You know how they would definitely be able to pay for all this? Is if they fucking seize all the money and valuable assets that Elon Musk has, throw this motherfucker in the gulags, into the fucking mines, and distribute all that wealth amongst the United States citizens. I think that would be nice. That would make things nice. That for sure. That would definitely make things nice. Because I know that I would say, let's do that to Trump, but Trump is fucking worthless. He would be able, his net value would barely be able to afford like 3 states alone, or not even just 1 state. Like, I don't even think he'll be able to pay off the state of New York, for that matter. But, you know, I'm just saying. Fucking hell. Well, cheers to, you know, I'm gonna take a dab. Cheers to you guys. Cheers to what's left of the United States. I appreciate everyone who stopped by. I will be cutting this stream a little shorter because I gotta go to work soon. You said border crossing down 95%. Yeah, I wouldn't be wanting to come over here with everything fucking going on. I guess he got what he wanted, right? Especially since he's sending everybody fucking back. He very much convinced everyone to stop fucking coming. Oh, shit. And I'm sending you guys off with that dab and me coughing and me shaking around on here. I hope you guys have a good one. Stay safe out there. Drink water. Fight for your rights. I broke my camera. I didn't break my camera. I deactivated it by accident by shaking myself around. Oh, I have to fix this before I get off. Yeah, there we go. So you guys can see me. Peace. Stickers incoming. Whoa. I promise.